Daddy, I hope that when you see this, it makes you think of all the good times we've had together, and it shows you just how much I appreciate you and I love you, and how grateful I am that you've been always there for me. And my dad, I don't know what I would do without you, and I hope that you really enjoy this. I remember growing up, we would, I'd have slumber parties, and I'd invite over all the girls from class, and they'd all want to know, is your dad going to be there? Is your dad going to be there? Because Dad would just tell the best scary stories and the best jokes, and he would include everybody in it, and everybody was engaged, and, you know, and they were never too scary where we got, you know, totally freaked out, but scary enough to keep our interest. And the other thing he did was, one year he taught all of us this chant that he learned when he was in the Boy Scouts, and I still remember it to this day. And it was like this long chant that everybody, all the girls knew, and we would use it as our password for things because nobody could just overhear it and say it. It was something that you had to learn. And like I said, I still remember it. It was it and little dit, oh and do and little do, ish biddly yo bo bo skinny nat wada and chew. And he taught everybody that, and we'd be like, what's the password? And you know, the little girl would be like, oh, it and did little dit, oh and do and little do, ish biddly oat and boat and bobo skinny that wada, and she would be like, all right, come on in. And then the little boy would come up, you know, because it was always girls against boys, and we'd be like, oh, what's the password? Even though we knew they wouldn't know, but they'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And we'd be like, nope, that's not it. We're really saying something, and we did, and we all knew it, and I don't think any of us would ever forget it. So that was my dad, though. Everybody loved sleepovers with him. So we had this fish tank growing up, and we had 3 goldfish in it. And as the goldfish started to get older, one of the fish was kind of on its side, and it was still moving a little bit, but we kind of figured the fish was on its way out. It didn't look good, and I remember my dad came down and he said, well, I've got a little magic. I can't guarantee it's going to work, but I've got a little bit of magic. And he pulled a bowl out and filled it full of fresh water and put the fish in there, and he's like, you can't look now. He put the towel over top, and he put the fish inside, put the towel over top, and he's going, oh, gotta work the magic. He's like, okay, all right, we've used all the magic we can. Gotta give it a little time. We'll check back on later. And I remember me and Jesse came a little bit later. He's like, okay, let's see if it worked. And we lifted up the towel, and the fish is better, swimming around, happy and good. And we were like, oh, he did it. He raised the fish from the dead. It was like, just, we thought it was incredible. You know, between that and he would do, we'd be driving and we'd have the lights would be red, and he'd be like, okay, we're going to do the magic, and green. And it would turn green, and we thought that he was making it turn green. And we would try to get him to do it other times, like, nope, got to do it at the right time. And he'd be like, oh, Brady and green. And it would turn green, and we'd be like, oh, he did it again. Oh my gosh, Dad is magic. He can do anything. He had so many different things that he would do that with. You know, he used to put on wool socks, and he'd scuff around the living room for a while, and he'd be like, oh, I've harnessed the power of electricity. I am Zeus. And he'd come over and he'd tap you, and he'd shock you, and you'd be like, ah, oh my gosh. Oh, and he used to do silly things too with his hands. Like he'd have he'd be like, okay guys, ready? I'm gonna disconnect my thumb. And he'd be like, oh, and we really thought he was doing it because that was my dad, you know, and we could never figure out how he was doing all these crazy magic things, but we thought he had magic growing up, I remember.
I would ride on your shoulders and look out on the world, pretending I was big and tall like you. When you were there to hold me, I never was afraid. You made me feel there's nothing I can't do. Spread my wings to fly. When I was very small, I knew that you'd be standing by to catch me if I fall. You're my hero. come to recognize how wise you are becoming every day. There's so much you've given me. I hope I made you proud. You're everything a dad should be, and it's time to tell you now. You're my hero. You didn't have to say a word. Your love was the message that I heard, inspiring me to be all I can be. You're my hero, and 'cause you're my dad, I'm twice as blessed and lucky. I'm so lucky to be me. Dad, you're my hero.
Daddy, as this ends, I want to make sure that you know how grateful I am for you, how much I love you, and as much as I've always been so thankful to have you as a dad, I'm even more thankful to have you as my girl's papa. And I love you so much. The girls love you so much, and I just appreciate so much everything that you've put into raising me and being there for me, and I appreciate that anytime that I need you, I know I can call you and you'll be there for me. And I love you, Daddy. Merry Christmas.